There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There is one vast, interwoven, multinational dominion of dollars.
Maybe the realest thing I've ever heard from a movie ever in my lifetime. Welcome back for another movie reaction, and today we'll be watching Network, directed by Sidney Lumet. What I do know about this movie, almost everyone on Patreon wants me to watch it. That's it. So let's get into this. Before we begin, I do want to remind you that you can vote on what I watch, see full-length reactions, and get early YouTube edits on my Patreon through the link in the description. If not, just make sure you subscribe or leave a thumbs up on this video if you do enjoy it. Really helps my channel reach a wider audience, and I greatly appreciate it. But now, it's time for the show. Let's go.
They're building the lower level of the George Washington Bridge. We were doing a remote from there. And nobody told me.
What the fuck?
And the cabbie turns around and he says, "Don't do it, buddy. You got your whole life ahead of you."
That's funny. They're drunk as hell.
Blown my brains out right on the air.
Get a hell of a rating, I'll guarantee you that. Suicide of the week. Sunday night show for the whole family.
He's probably dead serious too. Look at him. He's seeing all this. Seeing the ratings skyrocket. Seeing people just locked into their TVs.
Now, we're using a map going into San Francisco?
Patty Hearst affidavit, Gorillas in Chad, OPEC, Indiana.
They literally opened up with a very high-profile anchor being fired and the division head seeing him off properly.
Since this show was the only thing I had going for me, I have decided to kill myself.
What'd she say?
I'm going to blow my brains out right on this program.
What the fuck? Nobody was listening. They just tuned out.
What do you mean Howard just said he was going to kill himself?
Do you want to play it back for him? He fucking said it.
Howard, what the hell are you doing?
I want you fellas. Get your fucking hands off.
Trouble down here. This is dumb
That's
shit
my
I've ever seen.
dumb schmuck.
Oh my god. Nothing that's been said has been like humorous. It's the way the stuff is edited and cut. It's giving it a humorous tone.
Got some goddamn surprises for you too, Schumacher.
Keep your hands off my news division, Frank.
I understand there are at least 100 reporters and camera crews in the lobby.
He gave him what they wanted. Fucking ratings. Talked about. He had to have done this intentionally. It's fucking genius.
The Flagstaff Independent Bank of Arizona was ripped off by a terrorist group.
You mean they actually shot this film while they were ripping off the
Why
bank?
didn't you see it?
I mean, why not? Fuck it. It does seem like you're giving him fame, though, and you're giving him incentive to keep doing stuff like this and recording it. So, yeah, in that sense, nah, I probably wouldn't air it now that I think about it. I just forgot this is a news station.
Maybe they'll take movies of themselves kidnapping heiresses, hijacking 747s, bombing bridges, assassinating ambassadors.
What year did this movie come out?
The American people want somebody to articulate their rage for them. I don't want conventional programming on this network. I want counterculture.
That would explain a lot of networks today. That's their whole thing.
He assured me that the news division was safe.
Talk about this tomorrow at our regular morning meeting.
Roll VTA. 4, 3.
They let him back on the air. Let's hope they don't regret it.
I announced on this program that I was going to commit public suicide, admittedly an act of madness. Well, I'll tell you what happened. I just ran out of bullshit.
He's just being honest. I feel like in today, a lot of people wouldn't be so shocked by a reporter doing this on the air. But back then, shit.
If you had been patient, I would have explained that I too thought the reorganization of the news division would not be executed, and I will expect your resignation at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Holy shit.
Did you see the overnights on the network news? 8 in New York, a 9 in LA. Tonight's show will get a 30 share at least.
They want to put him back on the air? I fucking knew it. It's all about ratings.
Said what every American feels, that he's tired of all the bullshit. He's articulating the popular rage. I want that show, Frank.
Articulating the popular rage.
I'll get back to you, Diana.
Pornographic network news show, the FCC'd kill us.
The FCC can't do anything except wrap our knuckles.
Yeah, what powers does the FCC have? They can't, like, pull your network, right?
Brinkley, Severide, Reasoner all have their comments. Now Howard Beale will have his. Let's see what happens tonight.
It's all about someone getting this guy back on the air to someone higher up or to their group, like Robert Duvall at this table.
He wants to put Howard back on the air tonight. You're kidding. A latter-day prophet denouncing the hypocrisies of our time.
An angry prophet denouncing the hypocrisies of our time. Like, I hear this stuff and, like, certain people pop into my head instantly.
The ratings for the Thursday and Friday shows were 14, but Monday's rating dropped a point. The novelty was wearing off.
People are already getting sick of it.
Your network news show is going to need some help. I'd like to program it for you. I wouldn't interfere with the actual news itself, but TV is showbiz, Max.
No, you are supposed to be news. Why the fuck do you need? No, you don't need her.
I think Howard's making a goddamn fool of himself, and so does everybody that Howard and I know in this industry. All of this gutter depravity comes to an end.
She's not gonna let that happen. She's gonna do something.
Came all the way down here just to pitch a couple of loony showbiz ideas. You knew goddamn well I'd laugh you right out of the office. What's your scam in this?
Right, she got a plan already.
You have a favorite restaurant?
I eat anything.
I don't do anything on my first date.
We'll see.
Schmuck, what are you getting into?
Schmuck, what are you getting into? Yeah, right. Like, what are you doing? He sees the writing on the wall and he's like, I might as well get something out of this.
I'm good at my work, so I confine myself to that. All I want out of life is a 30 share and a 20 rating.
Holy shit, she is a fucking jackal, shark, all that shit. She wants to be the queen of the network.
I hear you. I said, why me?
Which guy is this? I can't tell. Was that Howard?
The voice said to me, we're not talking about eternal truth or absolute truth. God damn it, at least you're capable of self-preservation. And I said, why me?
What the hell is going on?
I'm imbued with some special spirit. It's not a religious feeling at all. A shocking eruption of great electrical energy, I feel.
And we know he's not lying. He really woke up in the middle of his sleep and was talking to this entity.
He isn't insane. He's in fact imbued with some special spirit.
God, I'm supposed to be the romantic. You're supposed to be the hard-bitten realist.
All right.
I'm supposed to be the romantic.
I gave her the show, Schumacher. I'm putting the network news show under programming. You're fired. I want you out of this building. I'll call the security guards and have you thrown out if you're still here.
Fuck it. It's time to go, man. Look what this station has turned into. Everyone above you has lost their fucking minds.
I must make my witness.
Sure thing, Mr. Beale.
Oil ministers of the OPEC nations meeting in Vienna.
Howard, what are you doing? You're gonna do the news?
How much time we got?
This is Ed Fletcher in Vienna.
Take two, Q Howard. I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad.
Imagine watching the news. It cuts away to a commercial and it comes back to Howard looking like this.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window and yell, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
He's losing it. If he would have just kept this to like 10% of what he's actually saying.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
Everyone's yelling.
What kind of show did you have in mind? Based on the Ecumenical Liberation Army. I want a lot more film like the bank ripoff the Ecumenical sent in.
She took this shit to a whole different level than I thought it was going to be at. I thought she was just going to maybe use the footage and creating a whole network based on this stuff. Not just the news.
Well, I'll have to take this matter to the Central Committee. I better check it out with the great Ahmed Khan. I'll be in LA until Saturday and I'd like to get it rolling.
Yuck. Everybody's selling out.
How do you feel?
Sybil, the soothsayer.
See what I'm talking about? All this shit he's saying is for ratings. They didn't have him say all that just to get people mad and to really demand more and raise expectations of everyone else. They're articulating the popular rage, as she said earlier, and they're too dumb to see it.
Television's a goddamn amusement park. Carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks.
I mean, I've always looked at it as that way.
So if you want the truth, go to God. Go to yourself, because that's the only place you're ever going to find any real truth.
I agree with that whole last part. Now it's like the internet. It still translates.
Turn them off!
He's telling them to turn off the TVs. And they're just cheering? He's telling them to turn off their TVs and their ratings are going up.
I await your questions and comments.
Very good, Frank. Exemplary. Keep it up.
Oh, that means everyone's getting moved up. Everyone's getting promoted.
You should be a grandfather yourself about now. You have a pregnant daughter in Seattle, don't you?
Any day now. My wife's out there for the occasion.
Oh, is she?
We're having heavy legal problems with the federal government. They heard about a Flagstaff bank ripoff film.
And she's craving intimacy. She's like talking to him, but kissing him and just can't keep her mouth off of him.
How long has it been going on?
It is an infatuation, Louise. There's no sense in my saying I won't see her again, because I will.
Whoa, shit. He is being super honest and direct. Damn.
Want me to leave? Check into a hotel?
Do you love her?
I don't know how I feel.
What the fuck? You don't know if you love her? I'm grateful I can feel it. Get the hotel.
Your last roar of passion before you settle into your emeritus years. Is that my share? She gets the winter passion and I get the dotage.
Everything she said was pretty much on the nose as well. She's your wife. All that's supposed to be reserved for her.
But don't worry. Come back to you in the end. Plot outlines have me leaving her and coming back to you. Happy American family.
He's like breaking the fourth wall.
Have we settled that sub-licensing thing? No. We want a clear definition here. Gross proceeds.
There's no fucking way all these fucking executives and network heads would be in here.
I'm not knocking down my goddamn distribution charges.
Give her the fucking overhead.
Well, that solves that.
Let's show her how we feel about her.
And he says she represents the tube generation. Her generation, they were the first ones introduced to it. By the time it got a couple of generations, he kind of understood its effects.
Somebody is buying up CCA, the Western World Funding Corporation.
Clarence Frank Hackett here. How's everything back in New York?
Damn, he's sitting there speaking facts on the television and none of them realize he's putting it all out there.
They own a chunk of Fifth Avenue, 20 downtown pieces of Boston, Port of New Orleans, the Arizona Land and Cattle Company.
What I don't understand is how does he know all this? Is this just common knowledge and he's just saying it, something that everyone else is scared to say? Like, is he just putting two and two together? The dealings?
I don't want the bank selling my country to the Arabs. I want the CCA deal. Stop! I want the CCA deal. Stop!
There's no fucking way. He planned this shit. One, he's mentally unstable. Two, there's no one to counteract anything he's saying. And he was getting fired. He was being put out to pasture. Why not do all this elaborateness and get back at them? I don't know, man. I'm confused.
And let's not discount federal action by the Justice Department.
No, I'll do it myself.
I don't think Jensen's gonna fire anybody.
So what about this dude saying that he loved this woman? How's that gonna play out with all this happening?
He wants Mr. Beale in his office at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
What?
How are you now?
I'm as mad as a hatter.
Who is it?
He said I'm as mad as a hatter. Hey, he's being honest. Don't tell me that you're gonna try to make him national or something like that.
The Arabs have taken billions of dollars out of this country, and now they must put it back. It is ebb and flow. It is ecological balance.
Holy shit.
There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There is one vast, interwoven, multinational dominion of dollars.
Maybe the realest thing I've ever heard from a movie ever in my lifetime.
You have meddled with the forces of nature. Atone. Am I getting through to you, Mr. Beale?
Holy shit.
The world is a college of corporations determined by the bylaws of business. The world is a business.
Sad as it is to say it, that is the way the world kind of works, man. To keep the wheel turning. Why tell him this, though?
Why me? Because you're on television, dummy. People watch you every night of the week.
I have seen the face of God.
What the fuck?
It was a perfectly admissible argument that Howard Beale advanced in the days that followed. Nobody particularly cared to hear his life was utterly valueless.
I'm confused. Isn't that what they wanted?
I'm not some guy discussing male menopause on the Barbara Walters show. I'm real. You can't switch to another station.
Damn, that's like he's talking to a robot or some shit. I don't know how he didn't expect this when he got with it, though. That's what I'm not understanding.
No. What about that terrific new Messiah that ABC was supposed to have signed up as our competition for next year?
That's him.
That's him.
That's him.
We either go with Howard Beale or we go without him. I think we should fire Howard.
Someone else would pick him up. All your viewers would go there. So that's not too smart. So the story just took a nosedive in the last 15 minutes.
Sorry for all those things I said to you. You're not the worst fuck I've ever had. Will you go back to your wife?
Of course.
I'll give it a try, but I don't think she'll jump at it.
Yeah, she might not jump at it, but of course he is. Are you kidding me? Like he said earlier in the movie, this was always the plan. It's already written out.
I love you.
Then don't leave me.
Too late, Diana. There's nothing left in you that I can live with.
You're one of Howard's humanoids.
It's not like he's being disrespectful. He's trying to let her know why she's not able to feel things and why it's affecting their relationship.
And it's a happy ending. Wayward husband returns to his wife. Heartless young woman left alone in her Arctic desolation.
Where's the softness? There's nothing soft about this woman at all. There's nothing there. Ice cold. He wanted to save her from that. That's what initially pulled him into her.
$45 million lawsuit.
Would describe Mr. Jensen's position on Beale as inflexible,
intractable, and adamantine.
Adamantine? Oh my God. I'm gonna start using that word.
What would you fellas say to an assassination?
I can get the Mao Zedong Kill Bill for us. It's one of their shows.
Oh, no way.
We ought to get a fantastic looking audience with the assassination of Howard Beale as our opening show.
what would our continuing obligations?
There's the guy right there. He just showed the assassin. I'm pretty sure that big dude was the assassin.
I don't think the show has any substantial syndication value, would you say, Diana?
Syndication profits are minimal.
We're talking about a capital crime here.
Oh yeah, I guess it wouldn't be that guy because he's the leader. He wouldn't sit there and go himself and murder somebody.
Well, the issue is, shall we kill Howard Beale or not? I'd like to hear some more opinions on that.
Look, I don't see we have any option, Frank. Let's kill the son of a bitch.
Ice fucking cold. Oh shit, I knew it! It's just like that movie Joker that just came out. Look, look at the top. I don't know if you can see it. It's like Joker. And that's how the fucking ended, with the guy being murdered on camera.
First known instance of a man who was killed because he had lousy ratings.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Network. This movie could be remade today and called The Internet. The thing that stood out most to me was articulating the popular rage. She said that early and it stuck with me. It's something that can apply today. There's so many controversial and theories that people are just so much behind, and people are going to exploit that. Wouldn't be surprised if sometimes it's the network itself backing it up so they can get ratings, so they can get ads. It's all a business, like the gentleman, which was a great scene when he was speaking to Howard down that long table and the green lights, and he was talking about the primal forces of nature. That whole speech, that kind of towered over all the speeches Howard gave throughout the movie. And it kept it true to form in the sense of there's always someone that's going to try to push for the edgy network stuff, and it's just all about whether they're going to give into it or not. You know, we used to have in the 90s, what was it, Fox's Wildest Animal Attacks and Don't Try This at Home, stuff like that. Just crazy wild shit of people just breaking bones, snapping and shit. And Jerry Springer, you know, all that popped up in the 90s, and trashy TV. And even I'll admit, I love some of it. I mean, Maury is still going strong today. Like, damn, it's one of the top daytime shows. But they were getting more into the way the world works, how the news is feeding you bullshit, and we've grown commonplace to all these atrocities and death and war. And like he said, famine, apartheids, that it's just so it's something to scroll past now. You want to check the score of a sports game, and it's like, okay, let me scroll past the Angola, whatever happened there. And we really are desensitized to it. And I think that's what the guy was saying. I mean, I know I am. I'm so used to seeing it. We all kind of are now. All I know is I don't know how the network or the woman, none of them saw this coming. And maybe they did, and they just thought, listen, if it gets worse, we'll have this motherfucker killed. It don't matter. It's there. The 50 share is there for the taking. That's all that matters. Who knows what a network would do to get that 50 share. But now there are people who are going to actually do report on something legitimate. People are going to reference there's all these dealings and greed and people in power who deal with this country or are aligned with this person, have interest with this. And that's why you reported or did that. And now it's going to be always up in the air. Whenever the network can be telling the truth or selling something, they've lost the people's trust. That's all it comes down to, trust. But we're all human. It's a network of humans. Like the guy said, it's a network of systems, but it's a system run by humans. And eventually some shit's going to go haywire. While the Joker movie was more about society, this one still had similar tones. I think Joker was set in the 80s. So even though these were like a decade apart, it's still closer than they're both still set in times closer to each other than the present. Someone was also murdered to end the movie. wasn't his name Howard too? No, it was Murray Franklin. Except Joker kind of led you to believe that maybe there was something you could do about it. People could stand up, but this movie just lets you know this isn't something you can fight. This is the way the world has worked. This is the way humanity is. Like, this is something so powerful you couldn't fathom or even think of stopping it just by rioting and saying words. I don't know. That's what I got from this. This is what I'm getting from. I mean, the news should be depressing, you know? Like, if you were to learn about all the deaths every single day, that'd be the news. I mean, what else would be news? Catastrophes, events. Like, you want to know about good stuff? I mean, it's not as impactful as the other things. I mean, I know people are going to say, yeah, but those things are to sell paper because it's tragedy and horror stuff. It's like, not just that, stuff that's impactful. Like, if people were saved or a cure for something came out, like, yeah, hell yeah, that's something that's impactful, that's good. What sells is celebrities and sports, and, you know, you don't want to be completely drowned in it. But that's why all the fact that all these sections exist next to world news, it's crazy because it's just something to flip past. Like, we should read it and get angry and say, no, this shouldn't happen, and do a million things. Desensitized. Absolutely 100%. And I know a lot of people are going to say, like, damn, you're so aware that you're not going to react to things the way people have in the past, and things aren't going to affect you as much as it should. The same things that desensitize me also, you know, shape my morality and ethics, and it's who I am. You know, growing up on Disney movies in the 90s, like, I was a child. Seeing that stuff, I knew not just right from wrong, but what sadness was, what happiness is, you know, empathy. And I got that from something virtually. I got it from a TV. I learned about science from Bill Nye the Science Guy and Magic School Bus, and it's stuff that stuck with me and I've learned with today. So the capacity and the potential for good is always been there, and it's affected my life, and I'm sure people from my generation, and that doesn't come without the pitfalls. The same way I was exposed to that, I'm sure there was things I was exposed to that kind of shaped my humor and what I'm able to see and watch and tolerate. Fortunately for me, though, my mother was pretty good at keeping an eye on what I watched. My dad didn't really care. He kind of just threw on whatever. So that's why movies like Full Metal Jacket, I saw that when I was like 3 years old. Not even, like, maybe 5, and I blocked it out. You know, I remember the dude shooting himself in the head and all that, but 5-year-olds shouldn't be seeing that. That's why when I watched it again, I'm like, oh my god, I've seen this before. It is crazy. The way the mind works is just nuts. But my mom, she really did a good job at keeping me from watching stuff that I shouldn't have been. Wasn't until I was really older. Even music, she kind of kept all that away from me. So shout out to her for doing that. But I do like to think that I definitely feel shit. I mean, go to half my other reactions. My goodness, I fall apart. So many things on this channel. Nothing too crazy. You know, the writing for this movie was excellent. Timeless. Makes you think. And the way it ended, you know, a few months from now, no one's even gonna be talking about it anymore. Like, he got murdered, but that's it. Like, yeah, remember he got murdered? Crazy shit. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go on to the next thing. Not what caused that murder. Let's get this much investigative into it. The way he was speaking, that he was a prophet. That's what happens to prophets, man. They get killed. Wouldn't be the first. Sometimes you got to know when to walk away. Howard should have just walked away willingly. Did he lose his mind? Tell me, you guys. Did he legit lose his mind? What was going on with him? I felt like the whole marriage arc was kind of weird. Like, how they threw that in there. It was just like a side story. But now that I said all this and just reflecting on the movie, everything's kind of making sense. The dots are being connected. It was just to show how much it's affecting the love lives too. If you can't connect with other people, you'll never love anyone, ever. You can't not be ice cold. You're incapable of not being ice cold. It's easy to say, fuck you, you heartless bastard. Like, go fuck yourself, you heartless prick. But then it's like, what? We should be asking, what made you that way? How the fuck can we stop this shit from happening again? But that doesn't buy into the popular rage. People don't want answers. They want heads to roll, motherfucker. But this is nothing new. You can't sit here and act like, oh, this is something this has been since the beginning of time. People have been in the moment, and then it always dies down. And then people get their shit together and they realize, what the fuck were we thinking? It always happened. Read history, man. I know history is only written by the victors. There's so much. People want to reference history when they're talking about stuff, but they don't reference all the stuff that didn't get put in history. I think about shit and I'm like, man, this could have happened, but it just didn't make history because they were the losing side. So much shit could happen in history. It just either wasn't written down or no one knows it happened. But yeah, all right. So this is like, I feel like I should have did like a live recap to this, just so I could like have a dialogue to go back and forth with you guys, because there's a lot to talk about in this movie. Yeah, it's something I'm definitely gonna watch again. I have to really get the gist of it. That's why for a good portion of the movie I wasn't speaking, and I know you guys can see that I was kind of quiet. On YouTube it's probably gonna be like just me sitting there in silence during those parts, because I was really just trying to gather everything. I was like immersing myself. But it's a great movie. I see why a lot of you wanted me to watch it. Seems like a very important movie, a very, very, very important movie, very well acted as well. I should mention that before I finish up. If anyone out there feels like they're a Diana that's heartless, cold, and you just need this to get to the top, emotion doesn't really matter to you, your career does. And I know a lot of people aren't like her, but just in case there's someone like this watching this that feels like it's all about logic, it's all about numbers, it's all about getting as far as you can, being with other people doesn't matter. If you're watching this and you're feeling that way, just know, look, just know it's about love. Everyone else figured it out. Love, that's it. Not money, not systems and shit. That may be the truth, that may be the way everything works, but love overpowers, supersedes. It will never be defeated. It will never. That's the only thing that's balancing everything out, is heart. And that's what he was trying to say. That's the only thing that balances out all the fuckery, everything that's run by money, by systems, by power, by alignments, by interest, by all that. It's all balanced out by the good-hearted nature of actually good, kind, righteous people. You don't have to be religious to be these people either. We're talking about people that would sacrifice themselves for others. Not about money, about heart, about love. So if you're watching this and you're one of those Dianas, just know it's about love. And if you give into love, anything is possible. The millions of things that were designed or shaped or created by someone in the rooms that we're in, a lot of those came from labors of love. Yes, along the way, someone found a way to make money off of it, or maybe them themselves, but you can change the world, man. And it starts with love. If anything stood out to you in this movie, or there's anything you might have missed, please tell me about it in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed watching my reaction. All I ask is that you leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. You can also vote on what I watch, see full-length reactions, and get early YouTube edits on my Patreon through the link in the description. You guys are the best. We're a family. I know you know that. That's it for me. Until next time, spread peace and love. I'm out.